You think you're in control, but life doesn't send calendar invites. It doesn't text you a warning. It doesn't knock softly. When the next chapter of your life comes, it kicks down the damn door. Let me ask you something. Have you ever felt a sudden shift, something in your gut, in your chest, in the silence of a late night that whispered, something's coming and it's bigger than you? You didn't expect it. You didn't plan for it. But somewhere deep inside you knew it wasn't just life happening, it was life calling. This message, this moment we're about to uncover together, it's not just motivational fluff. It's the disruption that's already brewing in your life. And if you miss this message, you might miss your moment. So listen to me. If you've ever felt stuck, if you've ever asked, what am I missing? Or if you're standing at the edge of something you can't quite name, then don't move. Don't scroll. This message is not entertainment. This is your wake-up call. Because the truth is, what's coming next won't knock. It'll arrive. And if you're not ready, it'll break you or build you. Let's go deeper. There's something powerful that happens in moments of silence when the noise fades, when the distractions stop, when no one is texting, calling, or demanding your attention. It's in those rare seconds that something deeper tries to speak. And no, it's not always a voice you can clearly hear. It's a pull, a gut feeling, a sense that there's more. Something is trying to reach you, something unexpected. But most people, they miss it. Not because it isn't there, but because they're too busy ignoring it. You are being called. Right now, even if you're not tuned in, even if you're convinced nothing's happening, even if your life looks quiet on the outside, the truth is, the biggest invitations don't show up with a title or a trumpet. They don't come with flashing lights. They don't announce themselves on your feed. They come as friction, restlessness, a nagging sense that what you're doing, even if it looks successful, isn't quite it. That something about your current life is a couple of degrees off from your truth. That your comfort zone has started to rot from the inside. That feeling, that's not anxiety. That's the message. That's life tapping on your shoulder saying, you're meant for more. And no, I won't wait until you're ready. It doesn't care about your perfect plan. It's not concerned about your checklist. And it sure as hell won't delay until you feel 100% confident. This message, this calling is coming whether you're prepared or not. And I'll tell you what most people do. They drown it out. They double down on distraction, scroll a little more, binge another show, say yes to what feels familiar, numb themselves with busyness. But guess what? The message doesn't go away. It gets louder. It starts showing up in your body. Fatigue, burnout. That Sunday night dread you pretend isn't a red flag. It starts showing up in your relationships. Disconnection, irritation, a quiet sense of being misunderstood even by yourself. It shows up as failure, as chaos, as a breakdown. But all along, it was a breakthrough in disguise. What if the disruption in your life isn't here to ruin you, but to realign you? That's the moment where life is no longer asking. It's demanding. You've ignored the whispers, so now it's raising its voice. And this time, it's not going to let you stay asleep. The unexpected message isn't a punishment. It's a purpose bomb. And it's about to explode everything that's false, inauthentic, or expired in your life. You can resist it, sure, but at what cost? How many more years do you want to spend out of sync with yourself? How many more times do you want to explain away your unhappiness with logic that sounds good but feels dead? You're being called not because you're special, but because you're ready, whether you know it or not. There's a shift waiting for you on the other side of saying yes. A deeper version of you. A version that's not faking confidence, not following a script, not living based on someone else's expectations. But you don't get to meet that version without answering the message. And make no mistake, silence is still an answer. Delay is still a decision. Your potential doesn't pause because you're scared. It either passes you or it breaks you open. So stop waiting for perfect timing. Stop pretending you need more clarity. You don't need another sign. This is the sign. Something's coming. You may not know exactly what it is, but you feel it. And deep down, you're supposed to do something with it. The question is, will you? Most people fear disruption. They treat it like a curse, a detour, a cosmic mistake that needs to be avoided or fixed as quickly as possible. But what they don't realize is that disruption is often the only thing powerful enough to break through the numb autopilot most of us live in. Think about it. When do people actually change? When do they rise, evolve, finally shift gears? Not when life is easy, not when things are going smoothly. We change when we're shaken, when we're dropped to our knees, when the rug is pulled out and we're forced to look at what's underneath. That's the moment people stop pretending. You might think the disruption in your life is a setback. The divorce, the layoff, the illness, the lost opportunity. It feels like something is being stolen from you. But what if it's being given to you? Not in the way you wanted, not in the wrapping you expected, but as a raw, real invitation to stop living small and finally wake up to the truth of who you are. That's what disruption does. It tears through the fake, the convenient, the surface level identity you've settled into and says, enough, you've outgrown this. Let's go. Most of us build our lives inside a box of what feels safe. We follow the rules. We choose paths we can predict. We make plans with backup plans. But guess what? Your destiny doesn't live inside a box. It doesn't operate on a spreadsheet. It's messy. It's wild. It demands risk. And sometimes, when you won't take the leap yourself, disruption gives you the push. It strips away the distractions, the illusions, the lies you tell yourself about what matters. It puts you face to face with your soul. No filters, no pretense. And in that moment of chaos, you have a choice. You can collapse, or you can claim it. You can look at the ashes and mourn what's lost, or you can say, what am I being called to build now that I was too afraid to build before? That's when disruption becomes destiny. That's when you realize this wasn't just a detour, it was a redirect, a divine setup, a brutal but beautiful alignment that forced you to stop chasing the wrong thing and start becoming who you were always meant to be. Think back. Haven't the most defining moments of your life come after things fell apart? Haven't the clearest insights come after you thought all was lost? The breakup that forced you to discover your strength. The failure that made you finally stop playing small. The job you didn't get that led to something even better. These moments felt like endings, but they were actually beginnings. Disruption didn't destroy you, it introduced you to your purpose. But here's the catch. Only if you listen. Only if you lean in instead of running. Only if you stop asking, why is this happening to me? And start asking, what is this trying to teach me? That shift in mindset, that's everything. That's how pain becomes power. That's how fear becomes fire. So the next time something breaks, before you rush to fix it, pause. Listen, what's really happening beneath the chaos? What part of you have you abandoned? What part of your life no longer fits? Maybe, just maybe, that thing that feels like your world unraveling is actually the doorway to a world that finally fits you. Maybe disruption isn't punishment, it's precision. It's not life being cruel, it's life getting honest. And the faster you stop resisting it, the faster you can step into the version of you that's been waiting behind the curtain of comfort. You weren't meant to stay safe. You were meant to wake up. And sometimes it takes a storm to reveal the sky. There's a dangerous lie most people buy into, and it sounds perfectly reasonable. It whispers, wait until you're ready. Wait until you're sure. Wait until you know exactly what to do. And it feels smart, safe, responsible. But that lie is the invisible cage keeping most people stuck in the exact same place year after year. They're waiting for clarity, for confidence, for the stars to align. But life doesn't reward the one who waits. It rewards the one who moves in the middle of the unknown. Transformation doesn't come with a user manual. It doesn't show up with step-by-step instructions or GPS directions. And if it did, you wouldn't grow. Because real change, deep, soul-level change, requires you to walk into uncertainty and decide to keep walking, even when your legs are shaking. Especially when your legs are shaking. That's where power lives, not in knowing every move ahead, but in choosing to act when you don't. Waiting for certainty is just another way fear disguises itself as logic. It's not that you don't know what to do. It's that doing it terrifies you. You tell yourself you're not ready, but ready is a myth. No one feels ready before the leap. You feel ready after you jump when your courage has caught up with your decision. That's the moment when you realize you were always capable. You were just waiting for permission that was never going to come. Look at every person who's ever done something extraordinary. They all started without guarantees. They moved with shaky voices, trembling hands, and 1,000 reasons to quit. But they moved anyway. They didn't need certainty. They needed commitment. They didn't have the whole plan. They just trusted the next step. And in doing so, they became someone new. That's what transformation really is. Becoming someone you can't fully see yet by doing things you're not sure you can do. Think about how many dreams have died on the altar of waiting. Think about how many ideas, relationships, missions, and masterpieces were buried not because they weren't good enough, but because someone was waiting to feel safe. Safe is not the goal. Growth is, and growth demands risk. It demands mistakes. It demands you show up messy and imperfect and still decide to keep going. So what are you waiting for? The perfect time? It doesn't exist. The perfect plan? It'll change anyway. Someone to tell you it's okay? That's your job now. You have everything you need to begin. Not everything you need to finish, but just enough to start. And starting is everything. Starting is what splits your life in half before and after the leap. Before you were hiding. After you were building. The enemy of transformation isn't failure. It's hesitation. It's the voice that says, what if it doesn't work? Instead of, what if it does? It's the story that says, you need more time, more preparation, more certainty when all you really need is one bold decision. One moment of courage, one refusal to keep waiting. You will never feel fully ready, but you are already fully called. And if you move before you're sure, the path will rise to meet you. Fear has a way of dressing itself up like truth. It sounds convincing. It tells you stories like, you're not ready, you're going to fail, they'll laugh at you, or this is too risky. And the dangerous part is, most people listen. They think fear is a warning sign, a red light, a signal to retreat. But what if fear is something entirely different? What if it's not a barrier to avoid, but a breadcrumb trail toward your purpose? You rarely feel deep fear around things that don't matter. You don't feel fear about brushing your teeth or making your morning coffee, but speak your truth in front of an audience. Start the business that's been living in your heart for years. Leave the safe relationship that's slowly suffocating your soul. That kind of decision hits a nerve, and that's the clue, because fear lives exactly where your power is buried. You see, the enemy isn't fear itself. The enemy is what you think fear means. Fear doesn't mean stop. It means pay attention. It means you're getting close to something real, something alive, something that matters so much. Your nervous system kicks in to try and protect you. But the part of your brain trying to protect you was never designed to lead you to greatness. It was built to keep you from dying. It doesn't understand the difference between the fear of being chased by a tiger and the fear of putting your art into the world. It just says retreat. But your destiny doesn't live in retreat. It lives in the direction of what scares you most. The boldest people you know, they still feel fear. They just don't treat it as a stop sign. They treat it as fuel. That feeling in your chest, that racing heart, that tight throat, it's not just anxiety. It's your body telling you this matters. Lean in. This is where you come alive. Most people try to eliminate fear. They wait for it to go away before they move. But fear doesn't vanish when you wait, it grows. It expands to fill the space you leave empty. And eventually, it becomes the story you live by. You shrink your life to fit your fear instead of expanding your courage to match your calling. Here's the real shift. Instead of asking, how do I get rid of this fear? Ask, what is this fear pointing me toward? Is it the book you haven't written? The conversation you've been avoiding? The dream you keep saying is too crazy? That resistance you feel, the heavy emotional weight, that's a signpost. That's your soul pointing to something that matters more than your comfort. You want to know what you're meant to do? Follow your fear. The fear of being seen is often a call to be visible. The fear of failing is often a sign you're meant to try. The fear of not being good enough is often a prompt to grow, not quit. The edge of fear is where your most powerful self lives. But you only meet that version of you when you step through it, not around it. The truth is, the thing you're avoiding might be the very thing you were born for. And the longer you avoid it, the longer you delay your own evolution. Because on the other side of fear isn't just relief, it's revelation. The discovery of your own capacity, the fire of your voice, the clarity of your path. Fear is not the enemy. It's the entrance, the lock that only courage can open. So when fear rises, don't run. Get curious. Lean closer. Ask what it's trying to teach you, and then walk straight through it. That's how you find not just what you're meant to do, but who you're meant to be. People talk about change like it's a long, complicated process, like it takes years to figure out who you are, what you want, how to shift. But that's not true. Your life doesn't change in years. It changes in a moment, a second. A single decision that slices through the noise and says, I'm done living this way. That's it. That's the spark. That's the moment everything before and after looks different. And the reason most people never reach that moment isn't because they're not capable. It's because they're not willing to make the decision, not talk about it, not fantasize about it, not journal about it for the 100th time. I mean, actually make it. Cut the rope. Burn the excuse. Say the truth. Risk being seen. That kind of decision doesn't wait for approval. It doesn't come with a guarantee. It doesn't feel neat or calm. It comes with trembling hands and a pounding heart and a voice that says, what if this is the wrong move? But here's the secret. The wrong move, made with courage, will still take you further than standing still ever will. Every breakthrough you're dreaming about sits behind one decision you've been avoiding. Maybe it's the decision to walk away from something safe that's become suffocating. Maybe it's the decision to say yes to something that feels way too big for you. Maybe it's finally choosing yourself after years of shrinking so others could feel comfortable. Whatever it is, you already know it. You feel it. You've been circling it, delaying it, trying to time it perfectly, but it won't go away. Because deep down, you know, that decision is your door. It will never cost as much as looking back on your life 5, 10, 20 years from now and realizing you never did the thing your soul was begging you to do because you were waiting for perfect conditions. The truth is, the moment you decide not flirt with the idea, not wish for it, but decide, the universe moves with you. The energy changes. The momentum begins. The people, the opportunities, the clarity, all of it starts showing up the second you do. Because life doesn't respond to indecision. It doesn't reward the hesitant. It opens for the committed. You don't need a 10-step plan. You don't need every answer. You need one bold choice. And the thing about that kind of choice is that it doesn't just change what you do, it changes who you are. When you make that kind of decision, you become someone new. Someone who chooses power over fear. Someone who chooses truth over comfort. Someone who stops waiting for permission and starts building their future. That moment is possible right now. It's not a year away. It's not hidden in some course or seminar or life event. It's here. It's available in this breath. But only if you're ready to stop rehearsing the pain of staying the same and start stepping into the unknown of who you could become.